Alright, with that said, let's start. I'm gonna switch cameras so that you can see what I'm currently doing with the phone. Alright guys, so the first thing you wanna do is to turn off Find My iPhone. So go to settings and disable Find My iPhone. You can click here at the top where it says sign in. As you can see here, I'm not even signed in, so that's perfectly fine. But if in case you are signed in, just make sure Find My iPhone is currently disabled. If you can't find this function, simply type find and you will see Find My iPhone option, just click on it. And then after your phone is completely unlocked, you can turn it back on. Okay, the next step is to get your phone's IMEI number. To do this, simply dial *#06#. And as you can see, your 15-digit IMEI number will appear in your screen. This is very important guys. Keep this number somewhere close as we will need it in a few seconds to unlock this phone, so keep it close. Okay, now we're gonna switch to the computer. So I'm gonna put this phone down and now it's time to use the internet. Okay, so once you are in the computer, open the internet browser that your phone has been successfully unlocked, and now you're able to use your phone with any GSM carrier worldwide. You can restore, update, you can do whatever you want with your phone, and your phone will remain unlocked forever. You should be good to go, and as you can see here, my AT&T phone is currently working with T-Mobile, so it is fully factory unlocked.
Hey, what is up guys, MKBHD here, and welcome back to the Q&A series. I didn't forget about this one. It is pretty late in September, but it is still September, which means we have time to do the monthly Q&A. This is actually number 20 ever. So as usual, I asked you guys on Twitter what you wanted to know, and there were plenty of questions. And I have to say right off the bat, the number one most asked question, there was like 2,000 questions asked this time. About half of them were just iPhone 8 versus iPhone 10. So obviously iPhone 8 is out right now. iPhone 10 is out in another couple weeks. The majority of the questions, even questions I get in real life, are like, should I wait? Is there anything really new about iPhone 8? And I don't want to spoil too much of the review that's about to come out for this phone, but I actually really do like it a lot. And there's some things that people were kind of underrating about it that are new, specifically the power and the cameras. But I'll cover all of that in the full video. Bottom line is, yeah, I'm gonna wait for iPhone 10. If I'm buying, I want the best iPhone. iPhone 10 seems like that best iPhone. What is your all-time favorite video you've made? I don't have a good off-the-cuff great answer for this. There's a lot of really fun videos I've made. The one that comes to mind right away is the Project Love Day video that we made. It was only a 90-second video, but I don't know if I've told you about the entire behind-the-scenes process. That video took several days to make. In fact, I definitely did tell you that before. But seriously, that was a lot of fun, and the fact that it ended up winning the contest was a super big bonus. What are your thoughts on Porsche's upcoming Mission E? And I guess, is it a Tesla rival? So I've read a couple articles about this thing, and I've also read a bunch of articles about other companies that are making an electric sedan or some electric sporty looking car. I think ideally, yeah, this ends up being a Tesla rival because they're so similar. If it ends up being real at all, it is another electric car that's in roughly the same price point as Tesla Model S. But Tesla's so far ahead in that electric car market. They already have all these superchargers everywhere. They already have the clout, the mind share, that it's gonna be hard to catch. But at the same time, it's Porsche. Porsche has a lot of mind share and clout and people like them, and this is a really good looking car. So if they could attack some of the places where people find Tesla Model S to be like weaker, like the interior, Porsche tends to do really nice interiors, then I think they'll have something going for them. But until then, it's still playing catch up. Would you go on First We Feast Hot Ones if invited? Well, of course, yes. If you get invited to do a show like that, and to clear the wings with Sean Evans, you of course accept the offer. The question is, would you embarrass yourself if you don't finish all the wings? I don't actually know. I think I'm pretty good with hot food, but I'm not sure. Here's an interesting one. How did you and the rest of Team Crispy meet? So generally, I think the first time a lot of us met was online, so it doesn't count as meeting each other. But the first time I ever met Austin Evans, I remember, was, now I'm gonna forget which phone it was, but it was the Samsung Galaxy S launch event. It was probably Galaxy S3 launching in New York City. We both went to the launch event, and we just walked into a restaurant and we were like, oh, hey, you're that other YouTuber we've collabed with. What's up? Good to see you in person. And I think a lot of us do end up meeting at these tech events, whether it's a Samsung event or LG or whatever. They're just hosting a bunch of people who are doing similar things, like tech press and tech YouTubers. So that's a lot of where we meet for the first time. How many views did you get on your very first video in the first 24 hours of uploading? Probably like 12. I would say if I put an over-under at like 15, I would take the under. Do you think FaceID will be able to replace TouchID in terms of real-world usage? So that's actually kind of a question that I would have for Apple. Because if you think about it, I mean, I'm sure they want it in iPhone 10. I'm sure they wanted to have Touch ID underneath the glass, that fingerprint reader that everyone's used to in the same place, just under the glass. But they didn't. They didn't get that in time. So they ended up working really hard on the front-facing sensors to make Face ID as good of a replacement as possible. And as far as we know, it's actually better. It's more reliable, it's more consistent, it has a lower failure rate, it's harder to trick. So ideally, this is actually a good replacement. But what if next year they actually do get the technology in the iPhone 11 or whatever it ends up being to put Touch ID back underneath the glass? Does that mean we go back to Touch ID and we just forget about Face ID even happening? Or do we keep both, but prioritize Face ID because it's better, but also offer that like state-of-the-art fingerprint reader? What do they do? That's literally something I would want to ask Apple. I guess we'll just have to wait a year or so to find out. Do you ever get disappointed by your YouTube analytics? No, we now have fingerprint sensor, facial recognition, and iris scanner on smartphones. What do you think will be the next step? You're right, that is a lot of like body information, like a lot of biometric data to secure your phone. Next thing you know, they're gonna be like listening to your heart rate to, oh wait. Why do they skip the new gold color in iPhone X? Or 10, iPhone 10. I keep saying, I don't know if I'll ever really get used to saying iPhone 10, first of all. I keep saying iPhone X because it's an X. It's gonna say X on the box. I'm gonna look at it and say iPhone X. Actually, I even remember at the event when we first went out to that hands-on area and they had all those Apple employees like holding up the phone, waiting for people to shoot videos of it and photos of it. You could ask them questions and stuff. And I remember I asked one of them a question and I said, hey, on iPhone X, can you, and before I even finished the question, they interrupted me and said, it's the 10. Like, I think they were told to actively correct these press people who were talking about the phone to make sure they say 10, not X. Anyway, why did they skip the gold color? I don't know. I think there will be more colors of iPhone later down the road this year. Like they came out with that red iPhone halfway through the cycle last year. Maybe they'll introduce a gold iPhone 10 in a couple months. Who knows? My real question with the iPhones is this new space gray. Why is it always a different color? It seems like every space gray Apple product is different from every other space gray Apple product. Even though they're all space gray, Apple literally got to invent their own color name here, but they made them all a different color. It kind of ruins the name. Reachability on the iPhone 10, fiasco or nah? I think you're referring to like the double tap of like being able to bring the screen halfway down. That's called reachability on iPhone 8, iPhone 7, iPhone 6S, all the big phones. Yeah, that's not, as far as we know, gonna happen on iPhone 10. There's no home button, so there's no place to double tap to bring the screen down. And I talked about it in my second video about that phone, that it's a big screen, so it's gonna be kind of hard to reach. That's something to consider. I don't know if that's a huge deal for people. It's not gonna be like ReachGate or anything crazy like that, but yeah, this is a bigger screen, something they're gonna have to get used to. Any plans to have a video test driving an owner's Model 3? Hoping so. Love your videos. Thank you, Patrick. And yes, I think it's about that time where now people who are outside of Tesla, who aren't employees, are going to be starting to get their Model 3 orders in. So let this be a PSA. If you are a future or about to be current Model 3 owner that's also in the Northeast New York City area, that's also willing to let me shoot a video about your car, hit me up on Twitter, link below. Wireless charging for Teslas, when? Yeah, so I've seen some concepts about wireless charging for cars. The thing about wireless charging is it's not very efficient. First of all, our phones already get pretty warm when we put them down on like a wireless charging pad, and they don't charge as fast because they're losing some of that charging to heat dissipation. Trying to charge a car very quickly is already kind of a big deal. People want their cars to charge fast, but even in your garage, I can't imagine heat not being a really big problem there. I was supercharging this weekend on a road trip, and it was really hot this weekend. It was about 95 degrees. So the car thermometer said 109 degrees when it was on that asphalt and it was plugged in. And trying to unplug the car, it was hot to the touch. And that was just from being plugged in. So wireless charging, being like somewhere near the car and trying to transmit energy, that doesn't seem like a great idea. Maybe in the future, maybe in 20 years, but not right now. Now that you have a main gear PC, will we ever see a PUBG stream from you, maybe with Sam Sheffer? Hey, you know what? I'm sure Sam would be willing. And I'm not a big shooter gamer type, but this machine makes me want to be. I'm thinking we'll organize some sort of live stream where I'm actually trying to game, but obviously the best games I'm at are driving games and like sports simulation type games, but I'll give PUBG a shot because it's so hot right now. And also because that main gear PC is so hot right now. Link to the Battle Station post below. It's kind of lit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's where we'll end it. This has been Q&A number 20. And of course, the September edition. It's about to be October, so of course, you know, there's going to be more questions. If you have any others, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll hang out there for a bit. Hit me up on Twitter. I get back to those. But that has been it. Thank you for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.